Hey guys, it's Deidre Green. I actually just did this video, and for whatever reason, the whole thing got interrupted and deleted all the way while I was right at the end of it. But I know that this is what I'm supposed to do, so I am doing it again. I'm not going to let that deter me from getting my message out there. So here we are. I'm going to do part 4 again because I feel like it's needed, it's necessary. It is a part of my healing to talk about this situation in in this forum. Here we go. I'm going to talk about healing again. So if you've been watching my past 3 videos on my experience with domestic violence, you know that I've had a somewhat tumultuous past with this particular issue. So I've talked about the red flags. I've talked about the side effects, what happens after you finally get out of the situation, everything that you have to kind of go through. Just because the monkey's off your back doesn't mean that the circus has left town. And that was a quote that I saw by George Carlin that is so true for this situation. So I wanted to talk today about healing. I had a conversation with my best friend the other day, and we were talking about healing and what that word means, because it kind of has become one of these buzzwords nowadays, like with self-care and things of that nature. It's just like, what does it mean? Like, it's very mystical, or it's become very mystical, so what does healing mean? Does it mean going to yoga? Does it mean, taking baths? Does it mean going to therapy? Does it mean a combination of all of those things? Like, what exactly does it mean? And so I looked up the definition of what I guess just the dictionary had to say on what healing is, and it said to cause an undesirable condition to be overcome. And then I saw other definitions that started with, I don't even know what the rest of the definition said, but the beginning of it said to make free. So my definition of healing, what I'm going to say it is for me, is to become free from whatever it is that troubled you in the past, not to the point where you forget it or you turn back into the person that you were, but to the point where it no longer hinders you in a negative capacity. You only can look at that situation now and see everything that you've learned from it and see all the light and life from that particular situation, and how it's changed you and brought you to a new level of thinking. So that's going to be my definition of healing. Like, that's how I'm going to know that, I've done it, and that's the standard that I'm going to keep myself to. I'm going to talk about some of the things, I guess, that I'm doing now that has kind of like, it's kind of what's going to help me in this healing process. One is talking about it. So obviously, I'm doing that. Talking about the situation has lifted the shame of it from me and allowed me to kind of just be, more open about the fact that this is a part of my story. Like, yes, this is part of me, but I've also done, but it's not all of me. It's not who I am. The other thing that I'm doing is I'm looking into volunteering with domestic violence groups to help women who are, maybe further behind me in the journey, and also to learn from women who may be, further ahead of me. I've also joined a couple of Facebook groups just to keep the dialogue going, just to keep encouraging other people, other women. Another thing that I'm doing that I feel is very important is finally erasing some of the timelines that I had on my life. I think that a lot of times we have these certain ideas of what our life is going to look like at certain points, like, well, I'm going to do this by this age, that by that age, and I'm going to get married, and then I'm going to have kids, and then I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do that. And I'm just erasing the timelines and letting, what happens for me happen for me in the time that God intended it for it to happen to me. I also am trying to challenge myself with things that I've told myself were, things that I couldn't necessarily do. just lies that I've been telling myself. So, one small example is, if you've been following me for a long time, you know that I always say that I'm not like the best chef in the world, but I make an attempt. And I actually like made my own little Thanksgiving feast yesterday, just as a way to challenge myself, to say like, I told myself this lie for so long, and now, look at me now. I can do this. It is possible. Another thing that I've done is I've also tried to add a supplement to my diet called CBD oil. And I was very hesitant on that at first because I didn't really know what it was. And I had to do some research for myself. And so once I figured out that CBD is something that my body naturally produces, and I just might not have enough of it, which would cause my anxiety and PTSD to be heightened, I decided to give it a try. And that's been a really great game changer for me, just on a day-to-day basis. And then I guess the biggest thing, one of the other big things, is that I am more so embracing the fact that you don't get to go back to your old self. Like, I will never be the person that I was before the abuse happened. I'm a totally new person, and that's okay. And it's about embracing who that new person is, as opposed to trying to get back to who you were before any of it happened. I'm a changed person now, and just allowing myself to embrace that and go on that journey of, hey, you know what? This is me now, and I get to be whoever I want to be from this moment, not letting it define who I am, but, pushing forward and becoming a new person. So I think that that was pivotal for me, just letting go of that past, or letting go of that striving to just erase everything and just go back to who I was. And I'm also considering therapy as well, because I do believe in it. But I know enough about it that I'm going to have to find a therapist that is on the same page as me, and that is going to be somebody that I feel comfortable talking with, and somebody that I feel comfortable with vibing with on that level. Additionally, you guys know I love to read. I'm very prone to reading books, and I've never really read any books on this situation. So I'm going to try to see also what I can gain from that. So that's the beginning of what I feel like true healing in this situation is going to be for me. I've tried a whole bunch of other things, including just working everything away, and just trying to forget everything on how it happened. And then it kind of hit me really hard when I got triggered by that text message that I told you guys about in the first video, that wasn't going to work. So that was, kind of a hard realization to come to. But here I am now, and those are things that I'm trying to do. I really appreciate you guys for watching. I appreciate all the support. So many people have reached out and told me their stories, and told me what was going on with them or their friends, and how could they help, and what should they do, and all this stuff. So I know that I have peace from sharing my story, that at least one or two people were helped, because several people have reached out, and I really appreciate that. And I hope you guys will keep sharing these videos so that more people can reach out. So I am excited that I found the courage to push the button again, even though I had to do it twice today. I don't know what was up with Facebook, but I know that I had to do this. So I'm glad that it's done, and all 4 are going to be posted on my YouTube channel, so that other people can see these and, hopefully begin to push forward with it. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.